longtime Browns beat reporter Tony Grossi on ESPN Cleveland, talking about if Jim Schwartz defense will finally be able to stop the run.
I still feel like they can get run on a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. If he puts Tomlinson and Ika in the game together, who's going to run on that? I mean, the problem is if they spread out the Browns defense with a multiple wide receiver formation and hand the ball off against Schwartz's pass rush line, that's where I think they're vulnerable because there's no elite linebacker waiting to tackle them. So I don't know. It's going to be like a chess match. I think this defensive coordinator will be able to adjust to things that happen in a game.
Let's welcome in G. Bush, 92.3 The Fan, as well as the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. That last part of it is kind of one of the reasons I like Jim Schwartz. Guy that hasn't, you're not going to do anything to this defense he hasn't seen done, and he knows the next step.
Yeah, listen, he's not going to be confused in terms of guys running the football on him. When you look at what Jim Schwartz is able to do, and you look at the wide nine technique and some of the guys he has out with Zadarius Smith and you have Myles Garrett, what you're basically doing is you're unleashing your defensive linemen to basically, create havoc. Myles Garrett being outside of a tight end or being outside of the widest guy on the line of scrimmage pretty much eliminates the outside zone. It eliminates the stretch play. It eliminates a lot of the outside stuff. And there is the inside zone still, but like you've said, you drafted Siaki Ika as a guy that's going to be a run stopper. You still have Dalvin Tomlinson inside as a run stopper. And I think one of the things that the Cleveland Browns will preach to people and what you'll see is the Cleveland Browns defense a lot before was about catching. There's lots of times that, I was very frustrated with the defense because, sometimes you would have an aggressive defensive line. You can have that as a philosophy, but in the back end, you may be a little soft in coverage and you may be giving up a lot of cushions. It just seemed like the Cleveland Browns were soft up front. They really weren't getting any penetration in the backfield. You could count on your hands sometimes how many times in a whole season you would see one of the defensive linemen hit somebody in the backfield and have a tackle for loss. That's a philosophy, right? When you have a Myles Garrett and you have a guy like Zadarius Smith, those guys, you're telling them, hey, go be in the backfield, go make plays. Before, I don't think that was the emphasis. Also, I will say this, you're going to be dealing with a lot of people that are going to be more, I would say, more playing safeties to their strengths, as the strengths that they have. I thought Grant Delpit wasn't used a lot in the box, which he should have been. I also think that when you took a look at John Johnson III, he was used out of context. I just think in general, the defense in the way it went about its business was kind of soft. They didn't really have an identity. You have busted coverages on the back end, and when you can't cover anybody and you can't tackle anybody, and your safeties are the two highest tackle guys that you have on your team, you're going to be in a long dogfight. I think Jim Schwartz will fix that. Anywhere that he's ever been, they've made a tremendous jump in the first year and another big jump in that second year. And I think they have the guys up front to basically disrupt the run game.